This is how to create the ultimate desk setup if you have a laptop and a desktop running on the same monitor and keyboard. Especially if your laptop has USB-C. Wait till you see how clean this is. The basis of this setup is using this, which is called the KVM Switch. You can click that comment to learn more about them in that video. The way this thing works is you plug all your peripherals and your monitor into this thing. Then it basically lets you switch seamlessly between them. You'll see here right now I'm on my Mac. If I want to use my PC, I don't have to swap the HDMI cable. I don't have to plug in any USB cables. All I do is press one shortcut on my keyboard, and you'll see here, it'll take a second. I now have full control over my Windows machine. It switched to the display automatically. It switched the peripherals automatically. But what we're talking about in this video is how do I achieve that while having this really clean single cable going to my Mac that not only does the display, the peripherals, switches them, and charges the Mac. So whenever I want to use my laptop, I place it down here, I plug one cable in, and it's ready to seamlessly switch between my setups. So this setup here is actually pretty simple. Essentially all it is there's a USB cable and an HDMI cable running to the KVM switch. I also have that same setup here in my desktop, and then obviously all the peripherals plugged into this. But I'm running that USB cable and HDMI cable into a MacBook hub. And then this USB cable is plugging into my MacBook, the USB-C. Literally all the hub is USB, HDMI, and then the last thing you do is you run your MacBook power cable into the hub as well. Now this single USB-C cable is going to power your MacBook. It's going to run the display signal to the KVM switch and run the USB signal to the KVM switch. I'll have a link to a hub like this one in my bio. What I did as well is I added a USB-C extension cable, so I have a bunch of extra slack so this thing isn't sitting on my desk. It's so simple, but it makes for such a clean setup. Even if you don't have a KVM switch and you just have a monitor and no PC, you can run the exact same setup. You get a hub, you run all your USB peripherals into the hub, your mouse, your keyboard, your headphones, your printer, whatever. You then run a USB-C extension cable, you run power into the hub. Then whenever you sit down to your desk setup, all you need to do is plug in that one USB-C cable and you're ready to go, ready to work. I'll leave a link in my bio to both of the devices you'll need to have this setup. The KVM Switch I'll link will be a single monitor solution. The one I have here supports dual monitors, but I'm not using dual monitors. The Switch itself is only like 20 bucks and it's a great buy if you have a setup like this. Trust me, it will change the game for you. It's such a clean setup. One cable, in and out. That's how you set it up. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. This mysterious black box is one of the #1 things that you should be adding to your desk setup if you want to take it to the next level. And even though you can't even see this thing because I have it mounted under my desk, this is by far my favorite part of my setup. I like it more than my fancy webcam, more than my fancy monitor, more than my fancy custom desk. This thing is the beating heart of my setup. So this thing is called a KVM switch, and what it lets you do is run one set of peripherals, so mouse, keyboard, speakers, all of that, and control two separate computers totally seamlessly. So I have my Mac here, and I have my desktop Windows computer over here. So right now I'm on my Windows computer, my mouse and keyboard control my Windows computer, but let's say I need to jump on my Mac to work. Normally I'd have to swap over the HDMI cables or plug another one in. I need to change the mouse and keyboard over to the Mac, but because I have a KVM switch hooked up, check this out. All I need to do is press one key on my keyboard. It'll just take a second to switch everything over. And now I'm controlling my Mac. You'll see here, I have my mouse here controlling my Mac, and then the display switches to the monitor. There's no changing cables, there's no nothing, it's just pushing one button. The way this thing works is you plug all your peripherals into the USB ports on here, so your mouse, keyboard, speakers, whatever. You then plug an HDMI cable going to your monitor into here, and then what you do is you run one USB cable directly to your PC and one to your Mac, or you could have two PCs or two Macs or whatever your setup is. Then all you need to do is push either a shortcut on your keyboard or this button here on the device, and it will switch your peripherals and your display automatically without you having to swap cables. I know this sounds like a little thing, but if you have a work computer and a personal computer, or if you have a Windows and a Mac like I do, or if you have a gaming computer and a work computer, no matter what, you're always going to have a big mess of cables and it's going to be a huge pain in the ass. By installing a KVM switch, you just click and it switches between them seamlessly. No cables anywhere, no fiddling of things, it just works. There's lots of different KVM switch options out there, but I found this one to be the kind of best overall bang for your buck. It supports USB 3.0, it supports dual 4K monitors, that's a big one. It also has an external button to swap the displays, so you plug this button into here, you then mount this thing under your desk, and whenever you want to swap displays, you click it and it switches over. The one I have under my desk here is a little bit more heavy duty, and it's about $250. It has the same features, except it has the keyboard shortcut swap over. For $150 less though, this has all the same features, and the only difference is that you can't control it by switching over the keyboard. All you have to do is push this button instead, and you can mount that kind of just under your desk here. Totally worth it to go with this one in my opinion. If you don't know about KVM switches, you need to get one. It will change your world. It will save you time. It'll clean up your cable management. They are the way to go. If you guys have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any experience with KVM switches, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you. Also, I don't think I mentioned it, but I will have this one linked in my bio if you guys want to pick one up for yourself. Bye.